Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Fiona Wilson, and I'm the Director of UNH's Sustainability Institute. Welcome to the inaugural UNH Sustainability Awards. UNH has been a national leader in sustainability for over 25 years, so I think it's only fitting that we now have an annual opportunity to shine a spotlight on many faculty, staff, and students across UNH's campuses who are champions for sustainability. Today is really about recognizing and celebrating the achievements and contributions of members of our sustainable learning community at UNH. And we'll be honoring people and groups for their contributions in research and scholarship, teaching, campus initiatives, and in community engagement. We have a pretty fast-paced agenda this afternoon. In the next hour, we'll be announcing the 2021 award recipients. We'll be hearing reflections from selected members of our community and announcing the funding incentives generously provided by the Responsible Governance and Sustainable Citizenship Project at the College of Liberal Arts. And along the way, we'll also be treated to some incredible music by members of the College of Liberal Arts faculty, as you've already heard. At UNH, our work in sustainability is grounded in the framework of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the inextricable links between human dignity, ecological health, participatory democracy, and intergenerational equity. As a university, we of course embrace the fundamental role of academic research. And we also believe that a sustainable future demands harnessing and integrating many other types of knowledge, including practitioner and Indigenous knowledge. And that's why we're so delighted and honored to be joined today by Denise and Paul Pulio, representing the Cowassuck Band of the Pennacook, Abenaki, to start today's program. Chief Paul and Denise will be offering a land statement and will also be offering a reflection on Indigenous wisdom, sustainability, and the importance of living in balance with the natural world. We're also delighted to announce that Denise and Paul are one or two of our 2021 Sustainability Awards Platinum recipients. They were nominated by COLA faculty members Megan Howie and Svetlana Peshkova for their active work toward promotion of Indigenous knowledge at UNH and across the state of New Hampshire. They have been working with UNH for more than a decade. They were instrumental to the establishment of the Native American and Indigenous Studies minor, of which they are affiliates. There is no doubt that UNH is a stronger institution because of Denise and Paul's involvement. They have profoundly influenced and impacted in positive and powerful ways the lives of many of our faculty, staff, and students, both individually and collectively. Our deep congratulations to you, Denise and Paul, and please join me in welcoming them today for the land statement and their reflection on sustainability.
Nandakina, away, away. Holy, don't gone, away. Holy, uni, Katina was. Holy, uni, Katina was. Nandakina, away, away. Holy, don't gone, away. Holy, uni, Katina was. Holy, uni, Katina was.
Kwai Nirobak, Indelawisin Denise Pulio, Sagama Squaw, Woodelawisin Paul Pulio, Sagamo, Cowassuck Band of the Pennacook Abenaki People, Neo Na Ayan Orana Kuanipi. Hello, friends. My name is Denise Pulio, head female speaker, and this is Paul Pulio, head male speaker and chief of the Cowassuck Band of the Pennacook Abenaki People. We are speaking from our headquarters located in the ancient Pennacook village of Orana-Kuanipi, village at the narrowing of the waters, on Lake Winnipesaukee, which is now known as Alton, New Hampshire.
We began by singing Ndakina, which translates to our homelands, thanks to all our relations, thanks to the great mystery of life, the Creator. We are now going to share the newly established University of New Hampshire's Land, Water, and Life Acknowledgement Statement.
As we all journey on the trail of life, we wish to acknowledge the spiritual and physical connection the Pennacook, Abenaki, and Wabanaki peoples have maintained to Ndakina, our homeland, and the Aki, land, Nibi, water, Lolakwikak, flora, and Awasasak, fauna, that the University of New Hampshire community is honored to steward today. We also acknowledge the hardships they continue to endure after the loss of unceded homelands and champion the university's responsibility to foster relationships and opportunities that strengthen the well-being of the Indigenous people who carry forward the traditions of their ancestors.
We are honored to have a sustainability event be the first function that the statement has been shared. As Indigenous people, sustainability is the core of our being. It is interwoven into our language, culture, religion, and witness throughout our history. Our ancestors, the Elnambak, have stewarded Ndakina in harmony for over 12,000 years. Today we live together on Ndakina, and we must share the space with a greater community of beings. We must maintain and protect space for the birds, animals, reptiles, insects, and plants. The list is endless. When we think of community as not just we, the Elnambak, it is everything that surrounds us. We are all related and dependent on each other, and in ways we have yet to discover.
When we collaborated in 2017 to develop the Indigenous New Hampshire Collaborative Collective, or more commonly known as INHCC, our focus has always been on community, education, and sustainability. We have grown to include projects such as decolonialized history, state food insecurity, river and waterway restoration, sacred space and land conservation, K through 12 educational resource development, and this is just to name a few of the 26 different silos of research being conducted. It was through this expanding research that we were able to develop the Native American and Indigenous Studies minor here at UNH in 2019.
It is through the hard work and dedication of professors, faculty, students, alumni, and our greater New Hampshire community that we can strive to achieve harmony with our history and surroundings. We look forward to not only continue what has already begun, but to expand our relationship with UNH. It is through the open process of communication, cooperation, and sustainability that we maintain our families, our culture, our community, and our planet.
We would not be here today if it was not for the support of tribal members, professors, faculty, students, alumni, and our greater New Hampshire community for recognizing and challenging the colonial, historical, and environmental norms to develop a more inclusive and sustainable future.
We encourage you all to continue in the way of our ancestors by continuing to connect with each other, to learn, to show compassion, to help and empower each other, but most of all, continue to love each other.
We thank you all for this great honor today. Kitsi Olioni, Kitsi Nawask, Taminik Daminana, Olido Gowangan, Olioni. Great thanks, Creator, and we remember still, thanks to our relations. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise and Paul, for that wonderful land statement that is now UNH's land statement, for your powerful words, and for all that you have done to contribute to this community. I'm now delighted to introduce UNH's Provost UNH's Provost, Wayne Jones, to offer some welcome remarks on behalf of UNH. Wayne, you're a strong champion for sustainability, and we're so glad that you can join us here today.
Thank you, Fiona, and good afternoon, UNH faculty, staff, and students. It gives me great pleasure to join you today and to add my welcome to what I hope will be the first of a new annual tradition at UNH, our new Sustainability Awards. And what a wonderful way to kick this off by having our great partners and friends and collaborators, Denise and Paul, start this off. I can't thank you enough for joining us and for your work on that sustainability statement, which started years ago with COLA, and then with some additional support from COLSA, we finished it off. And while this was the first reading of that, it will be read at every commencement going forward, or at least shown at every commencement going forward as well. As Dr. Wilson noted, it's only natural that UNH should have an annual sustainability awards. We have a 25-year track record of leadership in sustainability. We're a national leader in higher education sustainability, one of only 7 universities to achieve platinum, the highest level of ranking from the STARS system. And during today's program, you're going to learn more about some of the ways we make our commitment to sustainability a reality. In this first year, we were incredibly pleased to receive over 90 nominations for faculty, staff, and students for sustainability awards. This was in addition to the 80 students who also registered to present their sustainability-related research at UNH's first annual All Colleges Sustainability Research Symposium a few weeks ago. But we shouldn't really be surprised by either the breadth or the caliber and the depth of the nominations. We are a national leader. And sustainability, by definition, requires collaboration across fields, disciplines, and sectors of society. And it requires us to work in creative and often unconventional ways. And this is what we are celebrating today. Those many and diverse individuals and groups across the university, faculty, staff, and students who are champions of sustainability. We are honoring those who are advancing sustainability in ways large and small across campus. Some have been doing this for years, even decades, and some are more recent additions to our sustainable learning community. I would like to congratulate each of the 90 individuals and groups who are nominated for an award this year, as well as all 80 of the undergraduate students who presented in the research symposium. Finally, I'd like to thank all of the people who took time to write nominations for our colleagues, to help shine a light on their contributions, and perhaps more importantly, to the dedicated staff, including Fiona and the team of faculty, staff, and students from across UNH who served as members of the steering committee for this, what I hope to be new annual tradition. There is no question that the world faces significant challenges today. But one thing we know for sure is that it is collaborative action, whether that's through our scholarship and teaching, our campus initiatives, or our community engagement. Whatever that collaborative action might be, it needs to allow us to better understand the complex and interconnected issues of sustainability and help us move toward effective solutions. In that vein, you may have seen the announcement from President Dean and myself in April, where we shared our belief that now is the time to seek additional ways to expand our sustainability work. This will include growing our number of undergraduate and graduate students enrolled in sustainability programs, expanding and integrating our research enterprise in areas from climate and biodiversity to equity and sustainable communities, and creating additional interdisciplinary experiential education opportunities for our students. We want to involve the entire UNH community in committing to helping UNH reach a new level in academic sustainability offerings and programs like this new annual awards event is just one way we can more effectively shine a light on the array of great work being done here at UNH, and to encourage and incentivize others to join us, lending their names, their time, their talents to UNH's sustainability efforts. With that, I'd like to say thank you again to everyone that has worked on this wonderful event. And here's to collaborating in the coming months and years. And here's to a wonderful and celebratory afternoon of all of your great work. It is definitely a great day to be a Wildcat. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Provost Jones. I'm Leslie Kaus, Executive Director of Engagement and Faculty Development at UNH, and I am honored to have been part of the steering committee for the new UNH Sustainability Awards program. The new Sustainability Awards is a collaborative undertaking conceived of and organized by staff, faculty, and students from across UNH. It's been an honor and a privilege, not to mention a lot of fun, to work alongside this amazing group of dedicated people. All UNH Durham, Manchester Law School faculty, staff, graduate, and undergraduate students were eligible, including faculty and staff with research and adjunct appointments. Individuals or teams could be self-nominated or be nominated by others in 4 categories: research and scholarship, curriculum and teaching, campus initiatives and operations, community engagement. The criteria used by the review committee in determining these awards are reflective of the complex and reality of the sustainability challenges, that complexity that is there, and the kinds of skills and approaches that sustainability requires. As a committee, we were looking for work that was collaborative, bringing diverse stakeholders together for collective solutions, engaged, driven and informed by needs and challenges in the world, inclusive, representative of diversity in all its forms, innovative, harnessing novel or unique approaches to sustainability solutions, and impactful, has or has the potential to have significant impact on sustainability. One thing that we want to emphasize: these awards are a little different than other awards programs. So recognizing that sustainability requires a collective commitment, the contributions of many across our community, We didn't want to be exclusive and select just a few winners. Rather, the committee decided to be inclusive, to shine a light on and celebrate the achievements of many people who make up our community of sustainability leaders across UNH. The committee hopes that this approach will help honor the breadth and depth of people in our UNH community who are contributing to a sustainable future. Today, we are honoring nominees in 4 award categories: Platinum, Gold, Silver, and Bronze. And we can't wait to share the exciting news with you. The award recipients will be announced on screen. While that is happening, we are accompanied by some wonderful music, a collaboration between 2 COLA faculty. One of the many reasons UNH is a leader in sustainability is its recognition and commitment to the central place of the arts in human flourishing, and therefore sustainability, or what sustains us as human communities within a larger community of life. Over the years, sustainability has inspired many creative collaborations in music, theater, and dance. So it's wonderful to introduce Professor of Music, Dr. Laura Dobbins, who will share a couple of words on her inspiration for the composition of The 11th Hour.
Hello, I'm Lori Dobbins. And when I was growing up, the biggest threat to the planet was nuclear war. And we were taught when I was at school, we should get under our desks should the bomb come, but it was okay in California because we had earthquakes, so it was good to practice. When I was about 10 or 11, I learned at school about the various threats to the environment. And I was really upset about it. And I remember going home and at dinner saying to my parents, hey, did you know this? Did you know that? And finally, my dad said, you should know that there are very smart and dedicated people who are working on these problems every day. And I thought, okay, well, that's good. Well, 50 years later, here we are. In 1960, the doomsday clock was set at 7 minutes to midnight. It's now 100 seconds to midnight, which is the closest to a civilization ending apocalypse. That's their words. So anyway, I wrote this piece in response to that, and because I am worried that there doesn't seem to be enough alarm about the situation, and it's very real. I want to thank Jacques Lee Wood, who's just a spectacular musician, for premiering the piece in 2019 and playing it again subsequently. So thank you, Jacques. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lori and Jack, for that wonderful piece of music. It is a powerful piece that will inspire us all to continue to work towards a sustainable future. And a sincere congratulations to all of our award recipients that were announced on the screen during the musical performance. UNH is very fortunate to have all of you building a stronger community. Good afternoon, I'm Diane Foster and I'm the director of the School of Marine Science and Ocean Engineering at the University of New Hampshire. I was honored to be part of the steering committee for the UNH Sustainability Awards, and I'm delighted to be representing the committee to introduce the next part of this afternoon's celebration. In this next portion of the agenda, we'll be hearing from 5 of this year's Platinum awardees. While we would have loved to have had time to hear from all of this year's awardees and be doing this in person, the constraints of Zoom mean that's just not possible. We sincerely encourage you to learn more about the award recipients and the work that they do on the Sustainability Institute website. As a committee, we were truly amazed and impressed by so many stories of people and their passion and the groups that are contributing to sustainability in this diverse and creative ways across campus. Some of these are well known, but many are not. And so in the coming months, we will also be sharing more about the work of this year's Sustainability Award recipients in the UNH Sustainability newsletter, blog, and other communications channels. So please make sure you follow us. Today, the awards committee has asked 5 individuals to speak to represent the work of our community. We have asked each speaker to share a 2-minute reflection on what sustainability means to them and how it's embodied in their work. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce the first of these, Dr. John Aber, representing the research category, recipient of a Platinum UNH Sustainability Award. John has been a professor of environmental sciences at the University of New Hampshire since 1987 and was vice president for research from 2003 to 2007 and provost vice president for academics from 2009 to 2013. I'm fortunate that he was the provost when I first arrived and I was able to serve under his leadership. He's currently one of 4 university professors at UNH. He's co-authored more than 200 scientific papers in his field of sustainable ecosystem management. In 2003, he was listed by the Institute for Scientific Information as one of the top 10 scientists internationally for publication impact in the field of ecology and environmental science for the preceding decade. Nominator, Dr. Tom Kelly, noted that John Aber has played a key role as both a faculty member and administrator in advancing UNH leadership and sustainability over the past 2+ decades. John's renown as a scientist and his authority as a senior administrator have always put in the service of a greater good, including sustainability. For example, John was instrumental to the establishment of the UNH Energy Task Force and served as its chair, leading to UNH's first climate action plan. He led UNH's effort to advance an agroecological approach to building our capacity in sustainable food systems and led a 10-year agroecological study at the new organic dairy research farm. He was lead editor of a book about the first 10 years of UNH's sustainability effort, the Sustainable Learning Community. And as provost, John supported the development of UNH's dual major in sustainability and many other advances. There's no question that he's left a lasting impact and benefit to the university community. And I also think being an exceptionally good human being that set a precedent for how we work together. Please join me in thanking, celebrating, and welcoming John.
So am I going to transfer in here? Diane, thank you so much.
It's all you, John. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that introduction. My goodness, it's longer than the 2 minutes I have to say anything in return. So it was a pleasure to work with you. And it's just wonderful to see so many names as that list of awardees went by. And it's an honor to be among them. Well, thanks to the committee for making this decision, to bring this honor. And it represents decades of involvement with all the good people at UNH. So it says, you say it takes a village, and it does take a village to accomplish anything important. And the village at UNH has been dedicated to sustainability for decades. And it was great to be able to capture that in that book and to be able to spread that. It was so much fun. Steve might have another idea about being provost, but one of the things about being provost that was nice was to be able to spread the good news, the good word about UNH whenever I had the opportunity, because that news is so deep and wide, and there is no other university, I don't think, that's been as dedicated for such a long period of time as UNH. So we're a leader, but it involves everyone. And their sustainability is embedded so deeply in the culture of this place. It was wonderful to hear Provost Jones rededicate essentially the university to that whole goal. I think it's a major part of what we do, and I just couldn't be prouder of being part of it for all these years. So thank you for that. It's wonderful to be among these list of honorees. Thank you, Diane, for the wonderful introduction. I am retiring at the end of May, but I hope to stay dedicated and connected to the university in some way. Reflections and what it takes to advance sustainability, all the good work that's happened, but it's certainly there. But I would just list a couple of words that I think are important. The one that strikes me deeply is humility, which this university has in excess, and I think is a wonderful characteristic of the place. And the other is inclusiveness, which we've seen in great detail and great strength today. So I will once again say thanks. I hope to stay connected and keep up the good work. It really is important and good work. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for those inspiring words and for your many years of service to UNH.
Thanks.
We wish you well in your retirement.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nadine Petty, UNH's Chief Diversity Officer. When I joined UNH last August, I was very happy to know that our definition of sustainability was a broad one, which encompasses dignity and well-being for all people, as well as ecological integrity in all places. I was therefore excited and honored to be a member of the steering committee for the UNH Sustainability Awards. And it is my distinct pleasure to represent the award steering committee and introduce our next speaker. Dr. Jennifer Bourda, Professor of Communication in the College of Liberal Arts, is representing the UNH Civil Discourse Lab, known as CDL, in the area of curriculum and teaching. The CDL was started in 2017 by communication professors Renee Heath and Jennifer Bourda, and later joined by postdoctoral research fellow Lydia Reinig Nkola. CDL was nominated because of its work to champion diversity, equity, and dignity for all in troubled political times, with innovative tools for productive civil engagement. The committee recognizes CDL as an organization of immense relevance because of its work to give students and community members the needed tools to conduct constructive conversations around very important social issues. The committee was impressed by this powerful experiential learning enterprise, one that combines grounding in methods of scholarly research for understanding diverse perspectives and opportunities for practical application. Please join me in congratulating the faculty of the CDL and welcoming Dr. Bourda.
Thank you so much, Nadine. We're really honored to have been selected for this award, and I would thank the Sustainability Institute and the RGSCP on behalf of Renee Heath and Lydia Reineck, and also our current student leadership team, who we wouldn't be able to do this work without. Piper Gibson, Alexa McNamara, Stephanie Rouse, Elza Breckbuell, and Ashley Strokas. So we launched the CDL to integrate research, engaged pedagogy, and community praxis in order to really strengthen the ability of our students and our community members to conduct meaningful conversations, collaborate, and make decisions about difficult but important topics to a civil society. We believe the way that sustainability is embodied in our work is really best exemplified through the statements made by 3 years of CDL alumni who were interviewed by Dr. Reineck in her Research Methods Capstone Seminar this spring for an impact study. So the alumni reported that the CDL provided opportunities to practice facilitation, stakeholder analysis, and critical thinking skills. One alumni stated that learning and practicing how to advocate for others and to feel confident in doing so was their most significant experience. Another said that they learned how to facilitate touchy subjects and communicate with others about controversial issues or topics that are sometimes difficult to talk about. Learning how to facilitate public conversations was recognized across all 15 interviews conducted so far as one of the most important and impactful influences on these students' educational experience at UNH, and was credited with preparing them to engage with all sides of an issue, to maintain a conversational flow, to feel more reflective and therefore more prepared to enter into vulnerable communication situations. Others spoke of how the CDL helped them to put themselves in other people's shoes, to be more open-minded, and to see things from other people's points of view. And so we believe that our work and the clear impact it's had on students over the last 4 years is necessary to sustain our democracy, because a good conversation can elevate what we hold in common, foster connection across differences, elicit greater empathy, compassion, and understanding, and inspire advocacy toward advancing equity, diversity, inclusion, and social justice.
Thank you for those wonderful words, Jennifer, and good afternoon, everyone. My name's Cameron Wake. I'm a research professor at the Institute for the Study of Earth, Oceans, and Space in the Department of Earth Sciences at the University of New Hampshire. And I'm also very proud to serve as the Josephine A. Lamprey Professor in Climate and Sustainability at the UNH Sustainability Institute. As someone who's been involved in sustainability at UNH for over 30 years since my time here as a PhD student, it's been a real pleasure to serve alongside such a diverse set of colleagues across UNH on the 2021 Sustainability Awards Committee. I'm delighted to represent the committee in introducing our next speaker, Doug Banks, University Architect and Director of Campus Planning. I've had the pleasure of knowing and working with Doug for many of the last nearly 25 years. He's worked collaboratively and creatively to integrate sustainability into the planning and execution of building design and construction. The awards committee was deeply impressed by the pivotal role that Doug's leadership and advocacy has played in UNH's sustainability leadership efforts. Doug's deep commitment to the aesthetics of our beautiful campus have always been at the center of his practice, and collaborations have left a long-term impact on the beauty of our campus. Among many other things, Doug was an active member of the Campus Ecosystem Task Force and played a role in developing a sustainable landscaping approach to campus master plans, including the brand new 2021 update to the Campus Landscape Master Plan. There's no question that Doug has stewarded the UNH campus as an extremely effective sustainability practitioner. We are particularly happy to be able to honor Doug this year as a Platinum Award recipient, as he is retiring this month and will be sorely missed by all of us. Please join me in welcoming Doug.
Thank you, Cam, for that very generous introduction, and I'm very honored to have received this award. When Tom Kelly first came to start the Office of Sustainability here at UNH, emphasizing a very holistic approach to sustainability, it was all, as Kool and the gang would say, fresh and exciting. Within the operations realm, we sometimes moved cautiously, other times more boldly, but we gradually got it to such an extent that by 2008, Tom and John Aber were ready to tell the story of the sustainability community, and they asked me to put together the operations portion of that book that they were producing. So today, I'd like to share some of my words from back then about just one small aspect of the holistic nature of sustainability at UNH. A university campus is an ideal context for practicing sustainability. For the University of New Hampshire, there's a long-standing culture of frugality and doing more with less that lends itself quite well to being sustainable. Sustainability fits the New England tradition of pragmatic, principled use of available resources and focusing on the local community to enrich our lives. As we've developed and refined our own sustainability practices, we've come to understand that in many ways, being a sustainable campus means remembering the approaches that were embedded in the means and methods that first formed this campus and guided its early development. Now, colleges and universities see themselves as part of a very long lineage of great thinkers and experimenters and scholars, and they expect to sustain these traditions indefinitely. Because design should reflect the values of the entity, this implies that a campus should visually project this continuity of past to future. Like it or not, the campus place is a significant aspect of how the public and our peers, our potential faculty and students perceive the school. And so the design of the campus and the buildings must reflect not just the present, but the past and the future of the institution and its locale. For us, that means it needs to be enduring, adaptable, high-performing, efficient, and engaging. For our campus to have meaning, our construction must respect the architectural conventions of what exists, but allow room for fresh and careful inventiveness that feels like it belongs. So I think this same thinking is how the University of New Hampshire has to approach all aspects of campus operations. It's essential to understand and acknowledge the traditions and the culture while making a campus that works well long into the future. So for me today, that is still what a sustainable community means. And I am truly grateful to have been a part of it during these defining times for sustainability at UNH. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Good afternoon. I'm Kenneth Holmes, and I was delighted to be a member of the steering committee for the 2021 UNH Sustainability Awards. As UNH's Senior Vice Provost for Student Life, I'm particularly honored to introduce our two invited speakers today, both representing in the category of community engagement. The first student is Matthew Parker, a current graduate student in the Masters of Community Development program at the Carsey School. His nominator, Michael Swack, noted that Matt has lived his life at the intersection of community organization and art. He has worked as a youth development professional, a full-time practicing artist, and as a violence interrupter / gang mediator. After serving for several years as the director of organizing for a small but influential civil rights organization, the Union of Minority Neighborhoods, he became the executive director of the organization earlier this year. He decided to pursue his master's program at UNH to build the tools he believed are necessary to succeed in the job and to be an example to his children. His capstone project aims to identify and address the policies and practices that have prevented men of color from being able to attain or maintain housing because of mass incarceration, inequitable wages, and prejudice policies and practices. Please join me in congratulating Matthew for his work and welcoming him to speak today. Matthew.
Thank you for that, Kenneth. Good day, everyone. Thank you to the steering committee. Thank you to my nominator, Michael Swack. And thank you to my cohort who have lifted and supported my ideas and have also championed and continue to contribute to sustainability and change just in general. When I think of sustainability, I think of what it takes to hold up a community, the values, the character, the behaviors that makes communities whole. And I think that even when we face inequities across different communities, it is our jobs and our task and sometimes our life work to try to work towards that. And I think I am just a part of a small cog in a great machine that is trying to do something impactful, not just for people who are currently going through things or looking for change, but for generations going forward. I'm thankful to the committee for selecting me, and I'm thankful for my family and my village who supports me throughout everything that I'm attempting to do. And again, just thanks everyone, and I look forward to continuing to try to change each corner of our world.
Thank you, Matthew. I'm also delighted to introduce UNH student Juliana Good. Their nominee, Fiona Buckner, noted that their name, Good, is an understatement. Juliana is one of the smartest, kindest, most service-minded students I have met in my 20 years at the University of New Hampshire. Juliana got involved as a first-year student in community service. Juliana is from Arizona, but has stayed deeply engaged in community service and has made a major contribution to the Seacoast community and the University of New Hampshire campus over the last 4 years. Juliana is a passionate activist for diversity, equity, and inclusion. They've been engaged in helping provide music, theater, arts teachers with resources, experiences, or training to include students with disabilities fully in the classroom experience. Juliana has been an active member of UNH's Symphony Orchestra as a principal violinist, and recently opened up about their own hearing difficulties. They have recently founded an accessibility consulting firm working with community organizations to help them make their presence, process, and practices more accessible to the disabled community. And exciting news, Juliana has secured a full-time role after graduating as an outreach specialist for the Northeast Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services. There's no question that Juliana is a one-of-a-kind individual who is energized to make a positive change. Please join me in welcoming Juliana.
We can see and hear you.
Oh, you can? Oh, I'm so sorry. For some reason, I cannot see and hear myself. That is odd. I've never had that happen before. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Juliana Good. I use they, them pronouns. Thank you so much, Senior Vice Provost Holmes, for that very flattering introduction, and to Faina Bucher for nominating me. I'm finishing my master's in public policy through the UNH Carsey School. But when I was a freshman at UNH, I would have never expected to be receiving this award. I thought sustainability was a concept for people involved in environmental science, and that wasn't me. I completed my undergrad in music performance. I didn't know how those concepts connected. But through the mentorship and knowledge I have received from Faina Bucher, Fiona Wilson, Kathy Meyer, Megan Braybeck, and countless others involved with the Sustainability Institute and Changemaker Collaborative, a central place at UNH where students across the university from all majors and colleges can connect with hands-on sustainability education and experiences, I realized that sustainability is actually something I'm really passionate about. During my time at UNH, I've tried to be a passionate advocate for helping connect other students with opportunities to engage with sustainability. I've been a changemaker coach, acting as a peer mentor to UNH students. And in the last year, I've been working to design and implement a program to engage high school students across the state in designing solutions to sustainability challenges. To me, sustainability means building something, that will last beyond my lifetime. It's working with the people closest to society's most pressing issues in order to co-design solutions that truly work for them, rather than putting the proverbial Band-Aid on a wound. Over the course of my UNH career, I lost 80% of my hearing in both ears and developed a chronic illness. Suddenly, I was much closer to a problem than I ever expected to be, and that problem is how inaccessible the world is to disabled people like me. Using the skills I have learned at UNH, I am now working with others in the disabled community to collaboratively design and implement accessibility solutions all over the country so that everyone can access the places that make their communities unique. I started a business doing this work called Neighborhood Access, which I'm very fortunate to say that many UNH faculty, staff, and alumni are supporting. Sustainability means building a world that everyone can thrive in. My involvement with UNH sustainability has been the defining mark of my time here, and I'm so grateful for that. A motto we use a lot at the Changemaker Collaborative is do well and do good. As I enter into what many call the real world, I will strive to keep doing just that. Thank you so much for this incredible honor.
Good afternoon. I'm Stephen Trascombe, Director of the Center for the Humanities and a professor in the College of Liberal Arts. And it's been my real pleasure to serve this year as a member of the steering committee of our new UNH Sustainability Awards program. I want to thank Juliana for their remarks, and in fact, thank all of our featured speakers today for their reflections on sustainability and how it's been embodied in their contributions to the UNH community. Now, these speakers are a subset of our award recipients, but even from this small sample, you should be able to see the richness and boundary spanning nature of the varied contributions to sustainability by individuals and groups across UNH. We encourage you to visit the Sustainability Institute website to learn more about all the work we're recognizing here today. It's now my honor to announce a related sustainability initiative, namely some funding incentives. At UNH, I serve as director of the Responsible Governance and Sustainable Citizenship Project, which addresses sustainability through an interdisciplinary lens and supports a variety of related efforts. And today I'm pleased to announce that the RGSCP Steering Committee has committed $10,000 as funding to incentivize further work by some of our award winners. Now, this funding isn't a monetary prize for their past work, but it's really designed to let them build upon their successful past efforts by scaling them or helping them turn in new directions. All 94 of our nominees were eligible to apply for a monetary stipend of up to $2,500 to help fund that future work, and an awards subcommittee considered each one of those funding requests. We were keen to use this funding in a couple of different ways. Our priorities really were first to help bring needed resources, especially to those sustainability initiatives that perhaps might not otherwise happen without some funding. And also, secondly, to contribute to early stage and emergent work that we felt had real potential for great impact in the future, really to find a way to help them move the needle. Now it's my pleasure to announce 6 recipients who will be receiving this funding. So we are delighted to provide a $1,000 award to Robert Moore, Associate Professor of Economics in the Paul College, to support ongoing development of an innovative curriculum in the economics of climate change. Courses on the economics of climate change are taught only rarely at US universities, and consequently there's no undergraduate textbook. And Professor Moore will develop a classroom reader with a series of introductory chapters, introduce major aspects of economic theory and how they apply to the topic of climate change. These chapters will allow students to understand the themes that connect different topics and outside readings. And one or more of these chapters will be submitted to a journal with a focus on teaching in economics, for example, the Journal of Economic Education. So congratulations, Rob. Our next award of $2,000 goes to Andrew Ogden, a senior lecturer in agriculture, nutrition, and food sciences in our College of Life Sciences and Agriculture. Andrew has made many contributions to the Sustainable Agriculture and Food Systems program in his nearly 10 years at UNH. He spearheaded and developed curriculum for the first hands-on experiential farming courses in the major, and he's brought his extensive knowledge of tropical horticulture to the UNH student body and taken groups of students to Costa Rica and forged a really strong connection with a university in Peru as a partner. The money will be used to add 2 new high tunnels that will double our output of UNH grown food reaching the UNH community. And these high tunnels will provide enhanced ability to support innovative experiential teaching and learning in sustainable food systems. Our third award in the category of research goes to Semra Itur in the Department of Health Management and Policy in Health and Human Services. Semra has been championing new ideas in sustainability since she joined UNH in 2009, and she integrates these themes in a really interesting way across all of her scholarship, teaching, and engagement. Sustainability is really a unifying theme that connects her work as an epidemiologist in public health from the local to the global levels. She works collaboratively to build transdisciplinary cross-sectoral teams at UNH, and beyond that can address grand challenges. Semra's award of $2,500 will be used to support collaborative aquatic epidemiology research this summer. Her team is conducting several projects at the intersection of ocean health, water quality, and human health, including doing research working with the Healthy Beaches program in Maine and New Hampshire, and collecting marine sediment from the Stellwagen Bank National Marine Sanctuary that contains hundreds of species of bacteria. In the category of research, the committee has decided to award $1,500 to graduate student Nick Pollock. The committee felt that Nick's research on new materials for sustainable energy generation using solar light has the potential for major sustainability impact. His interests and strengths lie in physical chemistry, and he thinks deeply about experimental design. He's strongly motivated by a desire to carry out research that has a broader societal benefit, and this prompted him to seek a research project, perhaps outside of his comfort zone, but one where he believes he can have a positive impact in addressing some of the big challenges faced by society as we strive to create a sustainable energy economy. Nick is going to use this award to buy a mass flow controller to better quantify the activity of his photocatalytic system, and it will allow for larger scale experiments over extended amounts of time. Our next award in the category of community engagement goes to the Museum of Art at the University of New Hampshire. Over the past 10 years, the team at the museum has emboldened students to advance their critical thinking and visual literacy skills through personal interactions with the power of visual art, with an emphasis on cultural sustainability. Recently, the museum has created a schema for students to analyze and elicit meaning from works of art through dynamic exhibitions, original programming, and ethical collecting practices closely aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. They're committed to ensuring the museum remains an essential academic component of the entire university's mission and aspire to create strong multidisciplinary curricular connections that not only support the academic landscape of our Tier 1 research university, but also align with the SDGs. The museum aspires to extend their reach beyond the campus and to serve the wider Seacoast region, and they know that their greatest impact begins here at home. The museum will therefore use this award to reinforce their marketing campaigns across campus. And last but by no means least, the committee was delighted to award funding to UNH Hospitality and Dining Services to support their exciting food repurposing project with general operating funds. The Food Repurposing Project is a pilot collaboration between the university and Gather out of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and includes the team efforts of colleagues in Hospitality Services, the College of Life Sciences and Agriculture, and the Department of Agriculture, Nutrition, and Food Systems. This food repurposing project presents an opportunity to address food insecurity, basic needs support, while also reducing food waste and providing service learning opportunities through academic partnerships. The program aims to serve as a model framework for other USNH institutions and to provide university research and outreach to address systemic causes of food insecurity. So congratulations to all of this year's funding recipients. We can't wait to hear how you use the funding and learn some updates on your impact next year. It's now my pleasure to hand things over to my colleague, Dr. Paul Tsang.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm not sure, I can't see myself on my screen here. Can everybody hear me?
We can see you and hear you.
Okay, I can't see, so this is what Juliana was experiencing. Thank you, good afternoon. What a wonderful afternoon this has been. I'm Paul Tsang, Faculty Director of the Hamel Center for Undergraduate Research and Professor of Molecular, Cellular, and Biomedical Sciences. As many of you know, UNH is proud to be a host of one of the largest, if not the largest, undergraduate research conference of its kind at in the country. And this year, over 1,600 undergraduate students presented their research. It has been my privilege to serve on the steering committee for the Sustainability Awards. Amanda Ledger, the URC coordinator, and Molly Doyle, the administrative director of the Hamel Center, and I were excited to collaborate with the UNH Sustainability Institute to launch a brand new all colleges sustainability research symposium. Based on the overwhelming interest, over 80 students presented their research in this first year. And in this first year, and we know it will become a vibrant annual tradition and a way to highlight and support students conducting exciting research related to sustainability. There were 6 different sessions across the day on April 22nd, Earth Day, a particularly fitting date for this event, and panels of judges selected a winner for each session. We are delighted to announce these individuals and teams, as well as announce monetary awards for each. First is the winner for session A of the final research presentations in the honors section of Admin 444 class, Business for People, Planet, and Profits. The judges were particularly impressed with these presentations representing research by first-year students. For her project on Anthem Blue Cross and analysis of the company's sustainability practices, Caroline LeBlanc, student majoring in analytical economics, will receive an award for $250. Next is the session winner for session B of the final research presentation in the honors section of Admin 444 for their work on Burt's Bees, conducting an analysis of the company's sustainability practices. Chloe Gross, a major in environmental conservation and sustainability, and Alexis Eaton on environmental engineering and sustainability, and dual major took first place in their session. The next session included 6 presentations by interdisciplinary student teams who, through UNH's Bee Impact Clinic, were matched with local companies and acted as researchers and consultants to help their companies complete the Bee Impact Assessment, a third-party, rigorous and comprehensive assessment of a company's sustainability practices. Students are helping their companies on the path to potentially becoming certified B Cert corporations and provide detailed recommendations for improving sustainability practices. As you can see, the winning team in this session was the team working with a company based in Yarmouth, Maine, Dorigo Collective. They will be receiving a $500 team award. Concluding the morning was an interdisciplinary session on various sustainability topics. And for her work on renewable energy, looking at US approaches for development of wave and tidal technologies, Stella Farrell, a dual major in environmental conservation and sustainability and international affairs, received a $250 award. In the afternoon session, the judges and audience were treated to presentations from the 7 teams who completed research for their capstone in the UNH dual major in sustainability program. Judges were deeply impressed by the depth and diversity of these impressive capstone projects and ultimately selected as the winner the team, as you see there, whose research was focused on working in partnership with a local municipality to building a flood-resilient working waterfront and transportation corridors. This team is awarded $500, and they're all dual majors in sustainability. Congratulations. Last, but no means least, is the winner of the afternoon poster session featuring various sustainability topics. In this session, the judges selected, as you could see, the presentation by Jennifer Hagenrader, an electrical engineering major, for her research, Are electric vehicles a viable solution for energy storage in a microgrid? For her work, Jennifer is awarded $250. Congratulations to Jennifer and to all of the undergraduate students who are winners in this year's Sustainability Research Symposium. We look forward to hosting the Sustainability Research Symposium as part of next year's URC. It is now my pleasure to hand over to Dr. Tom Kelly, the founding executive director of UNH's Sustainability Institute and UNH's Chief Sustainability Officer, to conclude today's program.
Thanks, Paul. I want to add my congratulations to all of the awardees and the nominees, as well as my thanks to the many others who, while not nominated in this first year of the awards program, nevertheless make critical contributions to our shared effort through their work on key committees and task forces, including the Sustainability Task Force, the Energy Task Force, Ecosystem Task Force, the Committee on Investor Responsibility, the Zero Waste Task Force, the University Committee for the Sustainability Dual Major, and of course, the Sustainability Awards Committee. I also want to thank the entire Sustainability Institute team for all of their commitment and collaboration to advance our shared work. Today's awards, celebrating sustainability leaders, including those that are retiring, got me thinking about our history and the collaborative process that connects all parts of the UNH community in this shared effort. As many of you know, the framework that has guided our work for the last 25 years is called the Sustainable Learning Community. And it is quite purposefully grounded in the international community's shared principles and commitments going back to the early 1990s. As I look at it today, it hasn't lost any of its relevance. And that's not because we were prescient in the early 1990s, but because we listened carefully to what the world was saying about deeply concerning trends within the community of life that sustains us. And we also listen carefully to the intergenerational ethical obligation that was articulated in response to those trends, not just by the international scientific and policy communities, but the civil society groups encompassing indigenous communities, peasant organizing networks, and activists. Together, that resulted in encompassing frameworks like Agenda 21, the Rio Declaration, and the Earth Charter. These are the roots of the Sustainable Development Goals that Fiona referred to at the outset, and also the roots of the comprehensive approach that we have taken at UNH, and that brings nominations for these awards from all parts of our community. And so now we need to listen carefully again to the unique urgency of the moment that we are in. If you've ever dreamed about being in a pivotal moment of social, political, and environmental history, where collective decisions of historic proportions were made, you're in luck. We're right in the midst of one. It began about 30 years ago, and it will last another 10 to 15 years, at which time a reckoning will be called, the measurements taken, the story written for the next 10 generations. If this sounds like an impossible situation, then you're in luck again, because universities in general and UNH in particular are remarkably well suited to not only shoulder this burden, but to actually bring its seeds of regeneration to fruition, if we choose to rise to the occasion and be the fundamental change and transformation that this moment demands, then we will have responded well to our ethical and professional obligations. So going forward, let's redouble our commitment while cultivating courage and hope. We need to earn the right to be genuinely hopeful by having the courage to tell ourselves the truth about when and where we are in the long arc of history that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. invoked. He was hopeful, but it wasn't a naive hope. It was a hope anchored in the truth of the reality of his times and the spirit of possibility and justice that he and so many others have carried for so long. That work was and continues to be an intergenerational struggle that lies at the heart of what sustainability has been about since its inception. So let us continue our UNH sustainability journey, inspired by the work of today's awardees and nominees, to meet this unique moment together as a community and as a sustainable learning community. Again, sincere congratulations and thanks to all. And now I'd like to reintroduce Jacques Wood, who will offer a musical closing.
Mm-hmm.